Hello, my name is Jeff Rolka. You can learn more about me at voicelessonssf.com or voicelessonsinlondon.co.uk. I want to begin by just saying a very heartfelt thank you for all the listeners and watchers. It really means a lot to me. I also want to say thanks for all the comments and all the people writing in with questions. These videos that I'm producing right now are on delineation, which is also a way of saying ornamentation or runs, licks, riffs. They're all synonymous for those high passages that we often hear in contemporary music. And this video has a little bit of theory and a lot of practice on how to better execute those in our performances. So, a little theory about singing highly ornamented passages, trills, fast scales, etc. First and foremost is airflow. The airflow must not only be maintained through the course of the trill, but in fact increased and sung beyond the point that the trill has ended. So we're singing, you can think of it as singing past those trills or those ornaments. Additionally, vowels. They must be in alignment if we're changing. Even if we're not changing vowels in the course of the ornaments, those vowels, in order for us to successfully execute them, must be sufficiently narrow that when we change pitches, we retain that narrowness, that integrity of the vowel sound. Finally, when you're preparing your piece of music, it's important to look ahead so that we know where is your last breath before the ornament going to be. How are you approaching the ornament? Is it being approached from above? You're singing down to the ornamentation and then away from it? Or are you singing up to the ornament and then beyond it? All of those things are important in how we execute those passages. So the exercises that we're going to do today will help us to learn how to sing ornaments and how to have that kind of agility in our voices. But ultimately, you're going to have to assess the piece of music that you're working with and prepare that on an individual basis. As you practice with these exercises, I want you to find the range of keys that works best for your voice. So there are 4 of them: soprano, alto, tenor, and baritone. And we want to keep this in a comfortable range while we practice these skills. Now, when you're practicing, you may find that you get a certain point through the video and you'll need to switch over to the lip trill. I'd encourage you to practice the whole thing with the lip trill, for starters, just to get a handle on the exercises and also to really focus purely on how you're using air to move through the vocal lines. As always, if it gets too high or too low, just stop for a second, wait for the next exercise, or maybe if it's consistently too high or consistently too low, check one of the other versions of the exercises. Things to listen for in your practice. You're going to hear this pattern frequently. And you'll start off by singing an E vowel on that trill on the top, and then you'll switch vowels and do a bunch of different stuff that I've got planned. The things to listen for are how your voice maintains its integrity. You want it to sound seamless. If you hear bumps, either on the top note or the bottom, so here's the top, or the bottom, those can be good indicators of inconsistencies in either airflow or your concept for how to sing the phrase. It needs a bit of assessment on your part, since I'm not there, and then you can move forward. The lip trill or a hissing sound can be a great way to assess that. These exercises are for alto range vocalists. And so if they're too high or too low for you in general, I would encourage you to check out one of the other versions of these exercises so that you can get what you need. They are very progressive in nature. We're going to be progressing rather quickly, beginning at a reasonable tempo with only one vowel, and quickly getting into a fairly complicated scale pattern with a trill and all the vowels that we typically use in both directions. To facilitate this, I'm going to do something differently in this video, which is use a very old friend of mine, my Dr. Beat DB66 to make sure that I am very honest with my tempos. I've had this since I was 13, which I can assure you was a long time ago. And we're going to begin at 60 beats per minute, singing 16th notes, on an exercise that has a trill at the top. It's the one I used in the example. It sounds like this. Using an E vowel. Altos, we're going to be again in the key of F, going up to A flat. We want to stay in a comfortable range so that we can focus on airflow and the quality of our voices more than the range. Beginning here, ready, and... We're going to stick to that same scale pattern, but now we're going to use E and an A. We're going to change on the trill and move the tempo to 65 beats per minute. It sounds like this. One more time. Beginning here. 2, ready, and... Now we're going to move up to 70 beats a minute. Still working towards staying light and fast. We're going to make these vowel changes as seamless as we can. We're going to change to an E, A, Ah. We're going to add a 3-note scale at the beginning of the exercise. It sounds like this. One more time. Right here, ready, and... Now we're up to 75 beats a minute. We're going to use all the vowels now, E, A, Ah, O, and U. In addition to the 3-note scale, the 1, 2, 3, 2, 1, and the scale with the trill, we're going to add another 5-note scale in the middle of the two of them. And it sounds like this. We're going to switch vowels quite frequently, so... We'll begin here. 2, ready, and... to take those 5 vowel sounds and reverse the order so that we go from oo to e as opposed to e to oo. It sounds like this. And we will go to 75. We're going to stay on 75 for a moment. And try it here. 2, ready, and... We're going to keep that pattern. You know, you can go whichever direction you wish. You can go from E to oo or oo to E. You can switch it up, alternate scales. I leave it up to you. We're going to go up to 80 beats a minute though. And try it again. 2, ready, and... And finally, we're going to end on 85 beats a minute. 1, 2, ready, You can obviously keep going in your own practice if you need to go faster still. I hope this is helpful. I really appreciate the comments and questions. This video series, these 4 videos on delineation were done because of a request by one of our fellow listeners. So thanks again for watching. My name is Jeff Rolka. Take good care of your voices, enjoy singing, and hopefully we'll see you again. Bye.